G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. It's time for episode 4 of Tales of the Jedi. Now this looks like the final episode that we get in regards to telling Dooku's story arc and his downfall to the dark side. Now I do feel like in the first 2 episodes that we see Dooku in, which is episode 2 and 3, it really feels like they're trying to force in, it does feel a little convoluted in that sense, force in Dooku's downfall and of course his move to the dark side. Now, I will say in the 2 episodes that he's in, he's come across 2 corrupt senators that don't really want to take care of their own people. They don't take care of that, like one's selling off their planet and the other one isn't looking after his own people. And I do feel like that's a little convoluted in itself. Now, in the first episode that we see Dooku in, episode 2, he's of course starts to use the dark side a little bit. And in the other episode, I do feel like Dooku was in the right in regards to wanting to investigate. I do find it a little bit strange that a Jedi dies and the council doesn't want to investigate. They just want them to go there, bring the body back to Coruscant so they can have a burial. That's it. And of course, by the end of that, Mace Windu is offered her seat on the Jedi Council, and Dooku's a little pissed off about that. But throughout both episodes, Dooku seems to have these realizations, these cognitions of things going wrong within the Republic. And again, I do feel like it's a little bit forced in. So anyway, let's have a look at what episode 4 gives us to cap off Dooku's storyline. And of course, if you are new here, I go through the episode, you get to see a couple of my reactions from watching the episode, and then you get my thoughts and my review at the very end. Let's get into this. So he's already starting to be manipulated. By Palpatine? The Sith Lord. So it's obvious this episode crosses over with Phantom Menace. Okay, this is after Qui-Gon's death. So if we take the Plagueis novel into account, then yes, Dooku has been manipulated already by Palpatine. Because, you know, the EU was canon after all.
The Jedi blindly serve a corrupt Senate that fails the Republic it represents.
From the Plagueis novel.
Kill her.
Canon! The EU! Canon!
There is still a
Holy
chance
shit!
to make things
Holy shit. Squashed her like a bug. Or maybe not. Honestly, I don't know how she survived being squashed like that, but alright. Okay, so it's quite obvious that this episode crosses over with the Phantom Menace. We've got the encounter between Qui-Gon and Maul on Tatooine. Of course, Dooku is the one that removes the Camino from the Jedi archives. And of course, there are lines taken from the Plagueis novel, as I mentioned, which, you know, is canon, isn't canon, who fucking knows? What's canon anymore? Of course, then it jumps forward a little bit, and Dooku is standing at the tree talking about Qui-Gon Jinn with Yaddle, and this is after he dies on Naboo. So that's obviously all happened now. Now, I didn't mention anything about the way Yaddle was speaking because I did see a few things on Twitter about that. And of course, the Disney seals out there that love this shit, saying that, oh, so basically Yoda is just a retard, or Yoda is just a, you know, he's got a speech impediment or something like that. I think it was stupid for them to not make Yaddle speak the same way that Yoda does, being that it should be a species thing. Not just the fact that Yoda talks in riddles like that, as opposed to any other one of their species talking normally. And I feel like they're doing that so that they can just make Grogu speak normally once they finally make that thing speak. Obviously, there is manipulation from Palpatine. We get to see a bit of that. And Yaddle obviously spies and finds out what's actually going on. And of course, the fight ensues. I don't understand how Yaddle was able to survive being slammed in the door. She should have been squashed like a bug in that. But then, of course, uses her force abilities to be able to push the door up and then obviously just falls out and Dooku finishes her off. Again, if you do read the Plagueis novel, the way that Dooku was manipulated was that he does start to see problems with the Senate and the Jedi Council and the crossover that's happening there, and he does speak to Palpatine about that as Palpatine, not as Sidious. But Look, again, this is fine for Disney's canon in regards to what they want to do with it. I again hate the fact that they pick and choose what they want to use from the EU at their own leisure after they say that it's no longer relevant or no longer canon. And it clearly is, and they're clearly trying to make it whatever they can from it canon to keep people somewhat invested. I know that people are going to be going absolutely mental over this episode because of the crossover with the Phantom Menace, and that's really it. Again, these are just really short shorts. So from the point of view of telling Dooku's story, we get 2 episodes of him seeing corrupt senators, getting a couple of messages in there, and makes him start to think about it. And then this episode is a complete crossover with the Phantom Menace, him deleting the archives, him obviously already being manipulated by Palpatine, and of course the fight between him and Yaddle, which essentially completes his turn to the dark side in a sense. That's really it, guys. I don't really know what else to say. I don't like the fact of how they made Yaddle speak. She should have been speaking the same way that Yoda does. And again, it's fine for Disney's canon. It's not fine for me. And they just decide to pick and choose what they want from the EU. Just like the title of this entire series, Tales of the Jedi, which has nothing to do with Old Republic stories. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one for episode 5. Later, guys.